And I really think this is time now for everybody, our country, to come together. We want to come together, whether it's Republican or Democrat or liberal or conservative. It would be so nice if we could come together and straighten out the world and straighten out the problems and straighten out all of the death and destruction that we're witnessing. That's practically never been like this. It's just so important. And
it's happening. Trump won the Iowa victory. We are about to be hit with an unexpected future for our country. Des Moines, Iowa. Former President Donald Trump cruised to an easy victory on Monday night in the Iowa caucuses, the leadoff contest in the 2024 Republican presidential nominating calendar. The Fox News decision desk made call for Trump at 8:31 p.m. ETA. A half an hour after the caucuses got underway across the Hawkeye state.
So based on the first results and our Fox News voter analysis, the Fox News decision desk can now project that former President Donald Trump will win the Iowa caucuses.
He will take the lion's share of the state's 40 delegates. This result really solidifies his place as the current frontrunner for the nomination. Former Governor Haley and Governor DeSantis fighting for second. And this is really going to maybe last a while because it's a close race right now, how we see it based on the numbers we're looking at. You know, the former president, overperformed in the rural parts of Iowa, but it has been overwhelming, some of these numbers from these precincts that are already starting to come in. Some of them, and we were just talking, it happens quickly.
It's incredible.
Jesse. I mean, they do it on pieces of paper, they finish it, they hear everybody talk, and it's done.
The former president's lightning-fast win in Iowa gives him a crucial early victory in his bid to return to the White House. We want to thank the great people of Iowa, Trump said in a caucus victory speech in Des Moines, the state's capital and largest city.
well, I want to thank everybody. This has been some period of time, and most importantly, we want to thank the great people of Iowa. Thank you. We love you all. What a turnout, what a crowd. And I really think this is time now for everybody.
More than 2 hours after Trump's victory was called, the Fox News decision desk projected that Florida Governor Ron DeSantis would edge former ambassador to the United Nations and former South Carolina Gov. Nikki Haley for a distant second place behind Trump.
His massive win in Iowa will propel him to yet another victory in New Hampshire's primary next week. Meanwhile, this week, former Arkansas Governor Asa Hutchinson dropped out of the race. The remaining candidates are back on the campaign trail. Former President Trump and Florida Governor Ron DeSantis both took aim at Nikki Haley, who took third in the Iowa caucuses. Recent polling shows Haley in a tighter race with Trump as she hopes to make headway with independent voters who make up 39% of the New Hampshire's registered voters.
We have to leave the negativity and the baggage behind and go forward with new solutions for the future.
A debate set for tomorrow was canceled after Haley refused to take the stage without Trump, who skipped every debate so far.
They threw everything but the kitchen sink at us, DeSantis said in a speech to supporters, as he referenced the onslaught of negative attacks and ads he faced from his rivals. Because of your support, in spite of all of that they threw at us, everyone against us, we've got our ticket punched out of Iowa, he touted.
We love you too. They threw everything but the kitchen sink at us. They spent almost $50 million attacking us. No one's faced that much all the way just through Iowa. The media was against us. They were writing our obituary months ago. They even called the election before people even got a chance to vote. But they were just so excited about the fact that they were predicting that we wouldn't be able to get our ticket punched here out of Iowa. But I can tell you, because of your support, in spite of all of that they threw at us, everyone against us, we've got our ticket punched out of Iowa.
Haley, addressing her supporters soon after DeSantis spoke, once again framed the nomination race as a two-person contest between herself and Trump. When you look at how we're doing in New Hampshire and South Carolina and beyond, I can safely say tonight Iowa made this Republican primary a two-person race, she argued.
Donald Trump won by a landslide in Iowa, a monumental boost, of course, for his bid to return to the White House. Nikki Haley finished a narrow third behind Ron DeSantis, but she still said this.
I can safely say
Tonight, Iowa made this Republican primary a two-person race.
Multi-millionaire biotech entrepreneur and first-time candidate Vivek Ramaswamy, who relentlessly campaigned across Iowa in recent months, suspended his campaign after finishing a distant 4th place. Ramaswamy said he called Trump to congratulate him and said he would attend a rally with the former president in New Hampshire on Tuesday. "There needs to be an America First candidate in this race," Ramaswamy said. "Going forward, he will have my full endorsement for the presidency."
Not just to the Democrats, but to our own side. And not just to other campaigns and candidacies, but to ours. And so I will stick to the truth tonight. The first hard truth, and this one's hard for me. I got to admit this. But we've looked at it every which way, and I think it is true that we did not achieve the surprise that we wanted to deliver tonight. And I think that that's just a hard fact that we're going to have to accept as a campaign. And the question then is, what do we do that is right for our country? And so Purv and I, we actually didn't make this contingency plan before everybody told us to. We said, no, we're not doing that. But we talked about it tonight. We took a little bit of time in our apartment in Des Moines before coming here to make some hard choices. And I wanted to make a couple of announcements tonight to get the business out of the way. And then I want to tell you where we're going.
Trump, speaking with Fox News Digital's Brooks Singman after his victory was projected, said he was greatly honored by such an early call. "It really is an honor that, minutes after, they've announced I've won against very credible competition. Great competition, actually," Trump said. Trump campaign senior advisor Chris LaCivita posted to social media a photo of the former president backstage at his Iowa campaign caucus night headquarters, along with his son, Donald Trump Jr., giving the thumbs-up sign in front of a TV tuned to Fox News, with the chyron, "Trump projected to win Iowa caucus." Trump made history last year as the first former or current president to be indicted for a crime, but his 4 indictments, including charges he tried to overturn his 2020 presidential election loss, have only fueled his support among Republican voters. And heading into Monday's caucuses, Trump enjoyed a massive lead in public opinion polls in Iowa and in national surveys in the GOP nomination race.
Donald Trump wins the Iowa Republican caucuses. That is 32 minutes after they began. We have this race called, at least in terms of number 1, but we wait to find out about 2 and 3.
Well, we were reporting with the campaigns and their operations and allies earlier today, and the next 3 after Trump, Ron DeSantis, Nikki Haley, and Vivek Ramaswamy, their operations each professed confidence that they would be the one to finish in second place. Now, there's only room for one in that spot, and it's a really important one, as we have discussed. The question of whether Trump was going to win was really an anticlimax, as we just saw 32 minutes in. But it may take some time tonight for us to find out who actually takes the number 2 spot.
Trump's victory on Monday night was the largest margin in the history of Iowa's Republican presidential caucuses, easily surpassing the previous winning margin of 12.8% set in 1988 by the late Senator Bob Dole. And with nearly all of the ballots counted by late Monday, Trump stood at 51% to capture a majority of the vote in the caucuses. Rival campaigns and many political pundits had argued that if Trump failed to top 50% of the vote, he wouldn't meet expectations.
That the overwhelming majority of Americans say they will not vote for Donald Trump if he is convicted. It suggests that everybody being John Madden basically, and being predictors of what's going on, don't know what they're talking about. Right now in this Ipsos Reuters poll, again, 58% of Americans say they won't vote for Donald Trump if he's convicted of a felony. And I think the most important number there, at least for me, what I'm looking at, is 55% of independents say they will not vote for Donald Trump if he's a convicted felon. Only 14 independents saying yes.
Nikki Haley, what is interesting, is already breathing down Trump's back. Who would have thought that would happen? Nikki Haley continues to surge in New Hampshire as a new poll puts her just 7 points behind former President Donald Trump in a solidification of her second-place spot in the early primary contest state. This is the second time a poll shows Haley within single digits of Trump in recent weeks. It also comes with just 6 days until the caucuses in Iowa, as Haley continues to come in third place in the Midwest states polling.
In New Hampshire's Live Free or Die primary, what could be Nikki Haley's do or die moment.
Welcome to Littleton. Welcome to Littleton.
And the former UN ambassador taking no chances, saying she's not going to debate.
Did we expect to see you on the debate stage in New Hampshire? Is Trump going to be on the debate stage? Is that the metric? I mean, I've debated 5 times already and had strong debates. Now it's time to get Trump on the stage.
Late today, Haley confirming that with Trump sitting out yet again, she won't attend the New Hampshire debate, making her case against Trump on the campaign trail instead.
70% of Americans have said they don't want to see another Trump-Biden rematch.
A recent CNN New Hampshire poll taken before the Iowa caucus and before several candidates dropped out shows the former UN ambassador trailing Donald Trump by just single digits, boosted in part by a key endorsement from the state's popular Republican governor, Chris Sununu.
This is Nikki Haley versus Donald Trump for the next week.
Haley now casting the race in the same binary, her versus her former boss.
The new CNN University of New Hampshire poll, taken January 4th, 8, has Trump at 39% among Republican Granite State voters, compared to Haley's 32%. Surprisingly, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis dropped all the way to 5th place with just 5%. Former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie is in 3rd in the poll with 12%, followed by biotech entrepreneur Vivek Ramaswamy with 8%. DeSantis only beats in the latest New Hampshire poll former Arkansas Governor Asa Hutchinson, who with less than 1% support is still in the race despite failing to qualify for all Republican primary debates, save the first, and failing to gain any real traction. Meanwhile, a Suffolk University Boston Globe USA Today puts Haley 19 points behind Trump in New Hampshire, 27% to 46% respectively. The poll shows Christie in 3rd and DeSantis in 4th.
Yeah, we don't really pay much attention to a lot of the polls that get put out. When I was doing my swing through New Hampshire last time, a number of the people that are pretty wise said, listen, the polling is always really bad about New Hampshire, especially from people outside of New Hampshire. So I don't put much stock into it now. But at the end of the day, you don't want to be peaking in August. You want to be peaking in January. We're going to have so much work that we're going to do between now and when the New Hampshire primary is happening in 3rd week of January. And you got to earn the support. And I think what I found going around in New Hampshire, people want to see you. They want to be able to ask you questions. They want to be able to shake your hand. When we do that and get in front of people, we're able to marshal good support. But that takes a lot of effort. That will take a lot of time to be able to do, but we're committed to doing it. And I think that we have what it takes to be able to get the job done.
Haley saw a massive spike after New Hampshire Gov. Chris Sununu backed her candidacy. A poll from American Research Group taken December 27th through January 3rd shows Haley with 33%, just 4 points behind Trump's 37%. Republican voters in New Hampshire are generally more moderate and socially left-leaning than Iowa, where DeSantis is consistently in 2nd.
On this Sunday before the New Hampshire primary, the Republican presidential field has narrowed. Late this afternoon, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis ended his candidacy and endorsed Donald Trump. He made the announcement on X, the platform formerly known as Twitter.
It's clear to me that a majority of Republican primary voters want to give Donald Trump another chance. Well, I've had disagreements with Donald Trump, such as on the coronavirus pandemic and his elevation of Anthony Fauci. Trump is superior to the current incumbent, Joe Biden.
This makes the contest for the Republican presidential nomination a 2-person race. Former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley is the only other competitor than Trump.
In Iowa, Haley is looking to make up some ground before the caucuses on January 15th. On Tuesday morning, she held a rally in Waukee, Iowa, just 30 minutes away from Des Moines, where she made the case for why Trump shouldn't be president again. I agree with a lot of his policies, but rightly or wrongly, chaos follows him. You know I'm right, Haley told a room full of Iowans at Mickey's Irish Pub. But we can't have a country in disarray and a world on fire and go through 4 more years of chaos. We won't survive it, she said. Lauren, 19, a finance student at Iowa State University, told DailyMail.com at the campaign event on Tuesday, "I'm still thinking, but at the moment right now, Nikki Haley is my first choice." Asked about a second choice, she said, "Kind of up in the air at the moment, still figuring it all out."
And I did three rallies. Thank you, darling. Thank you. Thank you. That's all right. Go home to mommy. Your mommy's waiting. Unlike Nikki, I'm working for you. And, I'm working for you, and she's working for a lot of other people that don't necessarily love our country so much. You're going to find out a lot about her in the next short period of time, but she's starting to fade as people find out. And she's got some really bad money behind her. She's got Democrats financing her in New Hampshire. Ron DeSanctimonious and Nikki Haley will never secure our border, and they'll never come close to it. And she's really not much of a Republican. She's certainly not MAGA. DeSantis voted 3 times to raise the retirement age on Social Security to at least 70, 3 times. And Nikki Haley says the retirement age of 65 is, quote, her words, way too low. Unlike Ron and Nikki, we will always protect Medicare and Social Security for our great seniors. We're not going to hurt our seniors. We're not going to do it. We have so many other things we can do.
With Ron DeSantis conveniently out of the GOP primary race, Donald Trump set his sights on Nikki Haley, his nearest opponent, who still trails him by double digits in the polls. The former South Carolina governor and Trump cabinet member has recently questioned the former president's mental fitness after he confused her name with Nancy Pelosi's at a rally. Here in New Hampshire, Nikki Haley has made an unholy alliance with Reno's Never-Trumpers, Americans for No Prosperity, Trump said, referring to Americans for Prosperity, a conservative group that endorsed Haley in December. Did you ever hear of Americans for No Prosperity? I added the word no because that's essentially what they do. I was going to say Americans for China Prosperity. They're headed up by bad people, globalists, radical left communists, to get liberals and Biden supporters to vote for her, President Trump. Nikki Haley, globalist, will never secure the border or stop the fentanyl that is killing thousands of New Hampshire citizens.
Good evening, Nancy. Well, the temperature outside has dropped, but inside the heat is on between Nikki Haley and Donald Trump as the former president looks to New Hampshire to solidify his path to the nomination.
4 days from now, we're going to win another historic victory in the great state of New Hampshire.
Competing for New Hampshire, Donald Trump and Nikki Haley are questioning each other's fitness for office.
I know her very well. She's not tough enough. She's not smart enough. And she wasn't respected enough. She cannot do this job.
At a rally here, Trump confused Haley for Nancy Pelosi, blaming her for security failures on January 6th.
Nikki Haley is in charge of security.
I wasn't even in D.C. on January 6th. I wasn't in office then. They're saying he got confused. We can't have someone else that we question whether they're mentally fit to do this. We can't.
But Trump maintains a commanding lead in the polls here, and he's rolling out key endorsements from Haley's home state.
We need Donald Trump!
Haley this weekend gave multiple interviews where she raised the issue of Trump's mental fitness. Trump claimed that Joe Biden to an irreversible situation, Haley said on Sunday's Face the Nation. He said that he ran against President Obama. He never ran against President Obama. He says that I'm the one that kept security from the Capitol on Jan 6. I was nowhere near the Capitol on Jan 6. Later in his speech, Trump addressed the question of his cognitive abilities. He claimed that Haley stabbed the Republican Party in the back by siding with Barack Hussein Obama against the Trump travel ban. Trump continued, I have to be very careful when I say Obama's name because the fake news, they say, did you ever realize that he gets the name Barack Obama confused with Biden? You know, they're trying to say he's cognitively impaired, and I use it because I figure Barack Hussein Obama is probably running things by the people I've seen.
With Obama, we won an election that everyone said couldn't be won. Obama dropped missiles and they ended up hitting a kindergarten. If that's the case, he's going to end up being indicted when he leaves office.
Obama he doesn't want to talk about it. He doesn't even mention them in his statements. It's all coming through Iran.
Well, you mean President Biden?
They were interviewing him 2 weeks ago, and they said, what would you advise President Obama? The whole world seems to be exploding. They never report the crowd on January 6th. You know, Nikki Haley is in charge of security. We offered her 10,000 people, soldiers, National Guard, so whatever they want. They turned it down. We would be in World War II very quickly if we're going to be relying on this man.
Trump quickly returned to bashing Haley. The people behind Nikki are pro-amnesty. You like that? Pro-China, pro-open borders, pro-Total, pro-deep state, and they're pro-Biden. He added, the radical Democrats are supporting Nikki Haley for one reason. They know she's easy to beat. She's unelectable. He also attacked Haley on one of his pet issues, the U.S.-Mexico border wall. Nikki Haley, globalist, will never secure the border or stop the fentanyl, what's ruining thousands of New Hampshire citizens. You know that. Nikki opposed my border wall. You know, she fought me on the border wall. I said, what the hell is this woman doing?
The radical left Democrats are supporting Nikki for a very simple reason, because they know she's easy to beat. They came out with a poll 2 days ago where she's way down to Biden and I'm way up on Biden, and that's the way it is. She's unelectable. Nikki Haley wants to change the working class. So just think of this. So you have a nice working class, and they want to put a 23% national sales tax on everything that's purchased. Do you think that's good? How about, forget about middle class. How about poor people? They have to pay 23% when they buy something. And she wants to do this, the Social Security retirement age, by perhaps an extra 10 years, because she's talking about a certain life cycle. So you can labor until the day you die and then not collect a penny out of your benefits that you really are entitled to. We're not going to play with your Social Security, or we're not going to play with your Medicare. Remember that.
Trump is clearly winning, and that doesn't make a lot of people happy. Some are joining him and giving him strong support. Stay tuned to our channel for the latest news, comment on this video, and stay alert.